Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The man.
Friday afternoon to you, everyone. It's a special Friday, as we all know. It is the first Friday and the first day of the month of November 2024. Thank you so very much for tuning into and having the patience to wait for the real issues. Today, we're starting off the month of November. You might say on the wrong foot because we're starting late. We apologize for that. Both Jaquan and I had to find ourselves out and about the town, which is not the most conducive, which is not the most friendly place for commuting, whether on foot or with a vehicle and so on, to attend to certain end of month matters, which, as many of you will know, if you don't get them done within the month, and we're already in another month, then you lay yourself open to all kinds of penalties and charges and interest and this and that and the other. So we were absolutely determined to get it done, but we know how the town, Castries in the center of it, the business center, can be on a Friday afternoon, and more so a month end, beginning of the next month Friday. So this is the reason why we're late, and I can tell you the heat today is absolutely sweltering. It is another of those scorching days, and it takes a long time to settle yourself, even when you return to the office or to the studio where there is AC and so on. And you know, a lot of people, I'm sure, are really feeling the heat. It's a weekend that I hope we will turn a page, turn over a new leaf, or however we want to call it, turn a corner and so on, in terms of how we behave in making life easier and better for all of us, ourselves included. You know, as I was trying to make my way through the traffic, and then I had to go find a parking lot which was a little distance away from where I needed to go and absolutely get business wound up, you know, last day of the week, last day, you know, month end, as I said, and all. I began to ask myself, when you find the traffic is already so snarled up and it is so thick and so heavy and so, you know, you get my drift. And then you see people still doing foolishness. This person who decides that there's somebody they see on the other side of the dual carriageway that they want to say something, so that's the time they're going to stop and talk to them. And like they have all the time in the world, or people who believe that the inconvenience of no parking, that they must do something in a manner that is going to hold up other people and create even worse problems than we already have. I hope that we can begin to mature and begin to think. We shouldn't be beginning right now for sure. We should be mature in those things. But you know, the people that you see doing it, bus drivers, taxi drivers and so on, people who look upstanding, it's just the same way, you know. It's just the same way about the garbage that I was thinking to myself when I saw someone toss a plastic bag of garbage out of their vehicle. It wasn't the fact that it was done because it's being done all the time or that I actually saw it. It was the kind of vehicle, the upmarket, you know, classy looking, something that tells you it's somebody well-to-do. And I did my best to get a glimpse of the person, you know, long sleeves, you know, wearing a tie, you know, somebody looking like they are, you know, someone who has some middle class decency and uppityness about them doing this kind of thing. And I said, wow, we're in trouble, you know. It's not the razoo person or the riff-raff or the you know, as the wife of a former prime minister is reported to have famously described them as the kwashi, you know, or I don't know if it's the kwashi they wanted to say, you know, the spit and so on. It's not those kinds of people. When you find, and I think I told you the story about how I saw a very well-dressed woman one time driving a fairly nice car, decent car, small, but you know, going at the back of Massey cul-de-sac to just drop garbage, and somebody said me, that's normal. That's where they put the garbage and I said, if that is the arrangement for people to dispose of garbage by dropping it, even if it's in a bag on the ground, and then a truck will come later, then it's a horrendous arrangement. Solid waste should find a way for this not to happen. Put a garbage chute or something at the back there, or those things that the bus can tow away or whatever it is, and so on. Put it there. You can't have an arrangement for people to come and drop garbage on the grounds that the truck will come and pick it up later. Between them dropping it and the truck coming, we know what happens. The dogs will smell it from 10 miles away, and they're going to come. And just like we say, boys will be boys, dogs will be dogs. They want to get at these bones that are letting off an aroma even through the plastic and so on. And maybe by the time the truck comes, the truck people, they will pick up what's in bags and so on. Maybe they don't have spade, they don't have time, they have a long route to service, they have to get back to other people. What's already strewn on the ground will just stay there. So if it is true what the person told me by a message, that that's the arrangement in that area, it's a horrible arrangement. And even if it were, I would not abide by that arrangement. As somebody who is irresponsible, I would like to think public-spirited, care about my country, community, environment, I would never go and drop garbage, even if they told me put it on the ground and the truck will come. Between when it has to be in a drum, it has to be in some kind of box or chute, or however we call it, and so on. I have to drop it on the ground. Next thing, it's all over the place. And even then, it's in my neighborhood. It's around a place where I probably will have to walk and see it and smell it and so on. And that is the whole thing I have been saying all the time. We the people must learn to relate to our country, must learn to relate to our neighbors, must learn to relate to our communities and so on, in ways that is not always when we want to protest and we want to complain about the government, this and that and so on. There has to be a commitment to responsibility on our part as households, as families, as individuals. I do not find that sense of responsibility in our country at the most basic level. Because these things, when they cause problems, it ends people who can afford to travel to Martinique or to New York or to Canada for medical treatment. It's the mass of us, the ordinary people, that are going to suffer from the disease, and whether it causes dengue, it's his way it's going to cause the problems for. So let us put our shoulders to the wheel and play our parts. Then we will have more intensity and more purpose and more vigor and more justification when we decide to protest, because we know we are playing our part. We know we're paying our taxes. We know we're obeying the law. We know we're respecting this. So then we know we have to get on people's case. But how you can get on people's case, on government's case and ministers' case and representative case, when you yourself are doing, you are your own worst enemy in almost everything we can think of. We're doing that all the time, all over. That once there is a gouvernement or a representative, and we politicize everything. The garbage is a problem because we have a bad representative. We have to vote out that representative. Another representative gets voted in. What we expect? He'll go and pick up the garbage all over the place for us? You believe that's what he'll do? Or we have to show some responsibility. We have a solid waste. Let us, and there's some things you have to say them over and over again. You have to say them over and over and over again. Anything that has to do with government is always too much for us. It's too expensive for us. You can ask people to pay $1. I look at parking. I had to use a private parking lot in town. Yes, I was gone from it for less than an hour because I'm in a hurry to try to get back here again and so on. And I must have spent about half an hour there and so on, and just about that. Came back. They charged me $2. I paid the $2. And I was thinking to myself, we go into the government car park, building that costs, you can just look at it and know it costs some good money. It's maintenance, it's upkeep, it's layout, it's arrangement of the sections of the parking spaces and everything. I mean, it must have cost some serious money, whoever the bankrollers of it are, whether it's national insurance or whatever it is, I can't remember. It's a way back. You ask people for $2 for a whole day, and people want to go on the warpath. People want to, they want to fight about the government. They say they fought a mile away. I was glad to pay $2, Some people, if they go to the car park and for a longer period than the half hour that I stayed there, that they ask them to pay $1, much less $2, is a whole lot of calls to different talk shows and government. We feel that they should not involve. I remember many years ago they said that this car park was going to serve public servants, and a big outcry about public servants should be given the parking free, and they must be this and they must be that, and on and on and on. It's like government doesn't have any expenses, yet when you try to charge a little levy here, a little this, that, there, people are on the warpath. We have to change our attitude towards the state. Like we have an attitude that once it is the state, we must get everything for nothing. We must get it at peppercorn prices. We must get it at chump change. We must get it, for nothing and so on. We have to change our attitude towards that, because I believe it is this nasty attitude towards the state that is fueling what I see as spitefulness, malice, vindictiveness towards the public spaces, because it is government's responsibility. It is the state. So who cares where you dump garbage? We won't do it on our own yard, although, that's debatable. But it's like there is an anger against authority, against structure, against government that we are always lashing out against. For what reason? Many of us will ask ourselves honestly, and we can't find a good reason. And I want to spend a couple of minutes on that too. This anti-authority, anti-government, anti-structure, that is just sweeping up everywhere, and we are buying into it mindlessly. We want to protest, we want to occupy, we want to stand up against everything. I have a strong feeling this is what was behind all this anti-vaccine thing and all this conspiracy theories, that is something they're trying to play on you, and something they're trying to do you, and something they're trying to mess you up with. And that's not true. When vaccines have been around for a long time, what people didn't have was the at their fingertips soapbox of social media, where everybody can purport and posture and pretend to be an expert and pretend to be a scientist. People who never did high school biology, all of a sudden they know everything about virology and immunology and all this kind of things that it takes people so many years at university studying and research to get their degree and their postgraduate degree, and to be in practice and to be in internship and to be, everybody have a story to tell about it, and many people are suffering because of that. This anti-authority figure, it extends beyond politicians. Doctors now, people have a story about doctors. Doctors don't know what they're doing. The doctors mock killing people. The doctors don't know that. The doctors is big pharmacy that paying them to prescribe these drugs. So in order to get the money, they're prescribing things for people. But you can just put 3 leaves of guava and boil a whole lime and so on. And when you finish, you strain it and you put a little of salt in it and you drink it, and that'll be okay. And many people are not getting treated for serious illnesses, including cancers and those things, because we just have this kind of mindset that life depends upon rebelling against authorities, experts, governments, whatever they are. We have to push back against them. I'm saying, on the sum of it all, maybe in the largeness of America and Europe, I can understand that government becomes a faceless, remote, distant, aloof entity that we don't know and so on. But in little St. Lucia, which doctor is there that we don't know? That's not our neighbor. That's not some family of ours that we knew all the time. We know the story of them, how they went to Cuba or wherever, went to University of the West Indies, and they studied medicine, and they came up and they set up shop, or at some point they were invited or they applied to become, and they became, a public medical officer or chief medical officer. We know all of that. All of a sudden we're buying into these narratives that, they have this kind of plot to make money on our back and to do, and this pushback against authority, it may have some justification. Some pretty horrendous things have been done by the people who find themselves in positions of trust relative to us. I don't deny that. The corruption, the all kinds of things to try to fix up relatives and so on. But even with that, I find we going overboard. It's like any time there's anything that has to do with taking it, and it's not just government and so on. Once there is any attempt to put structure and to put order, whatever, we rebel against it, we push back against it, we make, and it's not us, as all of us. It's some people who have their own reasons for not wanting to comply with structure and order and authority and so on. And so they make a big noise, and then the rest of us, the herd mentality kicks in, and we begin to say, Wasco come with your dollar, and let blower, and then everybody else jumps up into it. Not realizing that the water, what we are paying for the water, cannot ever be the price of water. What we do with water, how we waste it, and so on. Tomorrow, Wasco workers go on strike because they are owed some back pay. They some increase, whatever. We don't know. We jump there. We want to go in the queue with them and protest and send stones at the Wasco building, man. But you know, the little money that Wasco has to pay, 50 cents. If they're charging us $15 per 1,000 gallons or whatever per 1,000 gallons, we don't want, you know, if they say, okay, 15.50, we'll put 50 cents on each 1,000 gallons. We're ready to go to war. And most times it is because it has something to do with government. It has something to do with the state. It has something to do with the perception of authority of people being in a position to give us orders and to tell us we don't want to comply with policemen's instructions, because to us, that is the, a kind of an imperious monster of the state that wants to come and tell us, divert, pass this way and so on. No, we want to push through, buy police to car, go make police, buy our gadget, and, to go and brag. People, we have to step back and think about those things. We cry about abuse of power, but we have to ask whether we ourselves as ordinary people are not abusing the power of our citizenry, the power of our vote, the threat that I'll vote you out and this and that, and the threat that we'll organize ourselves into a riot and so on against you and mash up the place and so on. We have to step back, We have to step back and ask, who really are we hurting? I have watched some people dropping garbage and bottles and so on the ground within feet of a drum, whether on VG Beach or somewhere that is there for putting the garbage, because it seems to imbue them, infuse them with a sense of power, a sense of, it's like it is a statement that is being made. It's like a statement, and you tell yourself, who are you making the statement to? Who are you hurting? I went by the beach the other day and I saw some people, doing their little jogging and walking barefoot. And I looked at them and I said, it's so nice, the barefoot experience on the beach. It doesn't mean there was ever any time you would be on a beach, whether at Patience, where I grew up, or Las Mabuya, or Tusadin, or whatever it is, that you are not in danger of getting, stuck in the foot, as you say, a peachy, pricked. But it will be mostly for something like a little, pica campeche or something like that broke off from somewhere, anti-boile or something like that, that came there and, most likely a cockle, a broken cockle shell or something like that, or a piece of buigo shell or something like that. It was hardly ever a bottle, Yes, there were the odd occasions, verre bouteille, DYO and so on. But now I look at people and I say, I don't care whether it's sand or beach. If I have to take a walk, I ain't walking barefoot. There must be some foot protection, because you never know when the verre bouteille that somebody has broken and dropped there and whatever, that it is there waiting to slice into my foot. All over the place it is like that. Folks, we have to stop thinking that we must push back against everything that has a semblance of authority, that has a semblance of order, that has a semblance of regulation about it. We don't want to abide. You imagine the chaos if everybody thinks the same way. Thank God they're good people. Because I look at where we are on what's going on the road, and people have no patience, and it's not anybody's fault. The traffic is grinding slowly, it's moving slowly. Why you have to do something that only qualifies you as a pure backside, like your head has been turned into nothing but a backside now, because you're thinking not with your brain but with some other part of yours, and this kind of thing is going on. We have to do a rain check. We have to do a step back on that. Let me just step back myself from the local scene, and very briefly, these days I don't really talk about international affairs much, but there's another hour that is happening. How the world can stand by, the same world that invaded Iraq, the coalition of the willing and the allies and all of those fancy names they are given, the same world that sent fighter jets to strafe and bomb Libya, overturn Gaddafi's car, and everything in the end, they end up being easily captured and executed on the spot by rebels without any trial or anything. that put Saddam on trial, and it could only have happened with foreign occupation, and hung him because of what he did to the Kurds. And Gaddafi was supposedly murdering his own people. They came close to pulling it off in Syria with Assad, even though the rebels were of the same terror groups that they were fighting, the same ISIS and Al-Qaeda, whatever, trying to overthrow governments and do all these sorts of things. We're hearing this thing all over the place. But one country, a small country, can go and launch such a disproportionate response and retaliation because a certain group of people, not the entire population, attack them after years of being under occupation themselves and being under brutality and having your foot on their neck. That you have killed 45,000 people and you behaving like you have just started now. You telling people to evacuate, go to the north, and as if what I'm saying is the very place you tell them to evacuate. You attacking there, you bombing there. It's like you're deliberately telling them to gather in a place so that you can better strike at them. You don't care if it's children, if it's women, if it's patients in a hospital, if it's schools, if it's clinics, if it's aid convoys, whatever. My goodness me, people. Have you all been watching the news and seeing what's happening, what Israel is doing? And they show no sign of having any intention to stop. This wanton, carefree, Turkish shooting bloodshed that's going on in Gaza, occasionally in the West Bank, in Lebanon. Remember I told you, about this formula that those Zionists have, which I think began with a long dead Israeli general, called Moshe Dayan, together with the prime minister of his time, a guy called Menachem Begin, and so on. My goodness me, that every one Israeli that is killed, they have to kill at least 50 Arabs. They didn't say Palestinians, Arabs. So that the numerical attrition that will occur if they just do nothing and they kill them, they will, decimate their population while they will remain intact. They'll make sure they've worked out the ratio that for every one who dies, 50. And based upon what has happened there, I'm saying that between 65 to 70 plus thousand Arabs will have to die. They realize they cannot probably take them all in Gaza because the eyes of the world are watching and all the aid things which they're attacking and Al Jazeera and so on having the eyes. So they've decided to go into Lebanon. These Arabs they want, as long as they take the hostile Arab nations around them and so on, they're good, with that and so on. So about 45,000 have died now. People, you know what that means? We can expect a further 25,000 at least need to die, before they will before the blood vengeance will be satisfied. They're going to continue killing people. They don't care where they get the numbers, but they will get the numbers to satisfy the 50-to-1 ratio of Arabs to Israelis and so on, because all the while Israelis are going to be killed. You send soldiers into Lebanon, you might be killing more of them, but 1-2 Israeli soldiers will get killed, and they don't talk about it much because they don't want to be seen, that the Arabs are having any success and that they're on the back foot. But Israelis are being killed all the time. They try not to talk too much about it to show like they're not, throwing a pity party for themselves. But every time they're calibrating and calculating how many more Arabs they have to kill. This is bloodshed on a scale that, it may not be the greatest numerically, but look at the countries that are involved. The United States of America, the main financier and provider of arms for Israel, it don't matter who, they don't seem to be forceful. It seems to be a token, half-hearted kind of, we would like to see a ceasefire and we'd like to do this. And the people are bombing and killing people relentlessly. This is the 21st century. This is the modern world we're talking about. Netanyahu said he wanted to destroy Hamas. If at this stage, bombing and killing so many people, you have not yet destroyed Hamas, you're not going to destroy them. You need another way. Is destroying Hamas, is Hamas still that much of a factor that you have to every day be killing 100 people at least in some area, whatever, bombing them? But anyway, let me leave that alone. Let me leave that alone. Before I open the phone lines, I noticed that after, I don't know if they had it out before and I just noticed it or it just reached me after. After I spoke about the Forever Road, the Millennium Highway, we're in November now, that still seems to be going on and on and on. I saw a statement put out by C.O. Williams about the Millennium Highway and whatever, what they're doing and so on. I don't know if it's in response to what I had to say. I'm not into this business of wanting to take credit, or I force them to say something, and I find a lot of people are into this childish nonsense, wanting credit and to say that, we force them. I don't really care. And they put out a statement. Let's hope that we're November, we're November. Remember all the different dates they gave and months of when they would be finished and so on. This thing is looking far from finished. Yes, there are a few sections where you have, some fairly smoothly paved areas and so on. But how long will it be before we can get a smooth ride along the entire Millennium Highway, that you don't have to be suddenly braking because you're driving and then all of a sudden you've seen, oh my goodness, there's that little patch that is unpaved, and that has potholes in it, that you have to stop. All of this thing is having an effect on the traffic build-up in town. Already we have the fiasco up north. These things are causing traffic to die, in the hill, going up Armand Morgan Bay, and then when you take the Maris Hill Flat, okay, you might get a little break from the Corinth Gap and so on, but from the time you hit the Badawange Flat, in the area of Cots and so on, to continue, it's impossible. Castries is just a matter of when you have something to do in town. And today the parking lot that I normally use, when I went there and I could not believe how many vehicles were parked there, getting a slot inside. It was not so difficult, but an unusually high amount of vehicles. I had to go to parts of it that I had never had to go to before. And usually there's one little area I'll go to and I'll find it. But that thing is having an effect on the movement of traffic in and out of Castries. It's causing the backup and the build-up. Millennium Highway was another outlet or inlet and so on that allowed a fairly high volume of traffic to approach the city and to exit the city. When this thing continues, more and more traffic is going through the Mon, is going through Bwakache, is going through, the old Mon Road and so on and all of that. And then whatever is going through Millennium has to be moving slow and slowing down and so on. It doesn't make for the smooth subsiding of traffic buildup. This thing is just going on and on and on. But anyway, they put out a statement. You heard me use the term an arrogant silence. An arrogant silence, like, we don't have to tell you anything. We'll talk to you when we're ready. If we don't have nothing to say, we're not putting out any statement. Well, sometimes respect says, putting out a statement to say we have nothing further to add. We are continuing to work and there's some areas that we have to spend more time on. Sometimes just that in itself. And I want to speak to the authorities, and by which I mean the government of St. Lucia. The one headed by Honorable Philip Joseph Pierre. Commendable work he's doing as Prime Minister, he and almost all his ministers, and the Attorney General. I understand that certain matters administratively, however we want to call it, are not exactly in your hands, and matters of justice. While there is a ministry which I think, justice and so on, which I think the Prime Minister himself heads, I think nobody needs to lecture the Prime Minister or anybody about the public perception. People dump all their concerns and all their frustrations and all their complaints and all their dissatisfaction on the elected officials. There's no point telling them, well, I can't do it, it's out of my hands. As far as they're concerned, you Prime Minister, you have ministers, everything is supposed to be in your hands in one way or another. Nobody's saying go charging like a bull in a china shop, like you want to be dictating everything. That's not what I think people are saying. But people expect their elected representatives to have some kind of handle on everything, including judicial things, barring the decisions that judges make in courts of law. And I'm telling you, I sense there is a growing dissatisfaction, unrest, restlessness about this special prosecutor thing. It's an unrest. And a lot of times the unrest is not that people expect you to go and to do what the special prosecutor, or grab it out of special prosecutor hands and go making statements on behalf of special. That's not what I think people are saying. I think people become a little bit chafed about when they have this aloofness, what seems to be an aloofness. And they don't even care about your Attorney General. As far as they're concerned, the Attorney General is a creature of the Prime Minister and the government and the cabinet, whatever. You can tell them what you want about Regional Legal and Judicial Services Commission appointed the special prosecutor. In their minds, the special prosecutor was appointed at the request or on the desire of the elected government headed by the Prime Minister and the cabinet. And there must be some kind of channel. There doesn't have to be authority or control. That's not what they're talking about. By which you can at least tell people, if the special prosecutor won't do it himself, that the special prosecutor is working, gathering evidence, which is a painstaking process, which takes a lot of time. And we have to be extremely careful at what we say, that we do not compromise XYZ and we do not find ourselves losing a case because the lawyer for whichever person made something to strike out because of prejudice, because of this and that and the other. Sometimes even a statement to say I cannot say anything is preferable to saying nothing. Because what people see is a contemptuous, arrogant aloofness where you are in effect telling us, I have nothing to say. I'm not saying anything. And you can't make me say anything. And when we're ready, we'll talk to you. Right now, we're not ready. We don't have anything to say. This is not good. We can't be living. And we have to understand how people's expectations and perceptions are shaped by the 24-hour cable television and social media that tells us every time there is a special prosecutor in the United States, as one example, that Prosecutor Jack Smith is expected to interview this person, and Prosecutor Jack Smith has filed. We can tell you everything what was in him. Judge Mueller was doing in the investigations of whatever Donald Trump and so on in the past, and what Jack Smith is doing now. We can't be able to follow. You tune in NBC, CNN, ABC, CBS, Al Jazeera, BBC. We have an endless supply, a glut of news and information about those things. But in our own yard, all we have is this stony, icy, brick wall silence, which comes across as being contemptuous, which comes across as being arrogant, which comes across as being disdainful, which comes across as having no political sensitivity insofar as what the public is clamoring for, what they're asking for. And like I say, don't tell me in the 20th century we don't have communications officers, we don't have lawyers, we don't have judicial people and so on who know how to craft messages that will satisfy the public desire to be kept a little bit in the loop, to be at least to be kept apprised, updated, informed and so on, in a manner that can be done without compromising the essentials, the fundamentals of the case and the prosecution and the evidence and the witnesses and so on. That you cannot do that without compromising those fundamentals, those essentials. And you can't do it, but at the same time, you give the public a sense that things have not died, that things are they're working. You may not be hearing from us, but we are working. We are making tremendous progress. We have gathered so far 200 witness statements, XYZ. We have interviewed, we have gotten depositions. We have gotten whatever submissions from lawyers representing people who we are, this kind of thing and so on. We are hoping in some cases that the matters will not go to court, that we will be able to come in some kind of out-of-court settlement, or some people are going to come into a plea bargain deal, etc., over certain things and so on. Don't tell me you can't say anything and without compromising. Without compromising the integrity, the feasibility, the viability of your case in a court of law. Don't tell me you can't do that. And this continued silence from or about the special prosecutor is wearing on the St. Lucian public who are seeing it as a form of, bad bourgeois, there is a kind of an arrogance about it. There is a kind of a contempt. There is a kind of a disdain about it. And I'm telling you, you never know as time progresses and you see people get disillusioned with those things that you tell the presidential prosecutor me on lot election ka vini ou a donné about presidential prosecutor on lot election il gagne pas fait c'est pas ça pas c'est pour ça yo c'est camarade ou ça derrière do moun devant moun yo ka vinn faire quoi yo vle goumer que na l'autre mais derrière moun yo c'est bon camarade ba you begin to hear those kinds of things. I want to appeal, do something, say something about those things. Sometimes the something can actually be nothing, but say something. Show the people that their curiosity, that their inquiry, that their anxiety about those things, that something is taking place. It is not something we can talk about. It's not something we can give details, but the work is going on between the former magistrate, who is the special prosecutor, the Attorney General, and others who know the system. You must, don't tell me you can't say anything. You must be able to say something without compromising the solidity of the cases or whatever it is that you're trying to build. This is the real issues. Let's take a break. We started late, but when we come back, the telephone lines are open for your calls, and I'll be looking at the Facebook Live, etc., for your comments.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
487-9849. That is the mobile number that you can WhatsApp call us on, and the landline 4533-911. We are taking your calls now until 2 o'clock. This is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, alongside our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. Good afternoon to Mahoney Oje, one of our regulars on the Facebook Live. And a couple of people have said that we're off air on the TV. I don't know. Are you still having that, or did it correct itself? I don't know. Maybe because we started late, it may have thrown the scheduling off. But I would think by now that perhaps they've gotten it. So Jaquan is telling me that yes, we're back on the TV. Joan Edward, good afternoon to you as well. Miguel Favre, as usual, is here with us. He says, "Hi, Rich." Well, you are late also, so not me alone, we have to come for you. Jean Francis Francois says, "Shelton, all of them doing it. We see them. I have had 3 different passengers in my car who also did the same thing. I myself was horrified and I showed it. And I suspect Jean is talking about the garbage, people tossing this. And I tell you, it's hard now, How many years I noticed the people you see doing that, and they're aware that they're doing something, and they look around, they sneak to see if it's anybody watching them, and they know they're doing something. You look uppity, you might well be working in a bank and so on, and you're doing this kind of thing. Anyway, we have a call on the line. Hi, good afternoon. Real Issues, you are first.
Yes, good afternoon. How do you do, sir?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm good. I have one thing to tell PJP. I believe in you, and I think you are in the best interests of the country. My plans are to come down to campaign to make sure Alan does not stand a chance in Mikud South. I want him not gone, but left.
not withdrawn, but withheld.
I don't care where and how you put it. I want him there. I
was just borrowing from his phrase that he did not withdraw the funds for.
No, just cover up words. Cover up words. He can't fool nobody again. His dictionary are short of words now, so he's making new ones, and there's no space to take new ones. If the special prosecutor, as you said, he can give people. He just have to tell the public, look, I'm working. I'm getting it there. I'm getting there. Yeah, that's all we need.
Reassurance is the word. Just give the public reassurance that things have not died, things have not stalled, things are taking place, sleeping. But it's away from your eyes. Yes.
Yes, I'm not sleeping.
Yes.
So ça pas fait my pièce côté. Qui était Alan vivre pour pays. Parce que ba moi doit pas voir. Nous ne pouvons voir en commission ba ici nous avec faire ça. Yo ni pour payer pour ça yo faire et moi pas comprendre qui manière après yo faire ça yo faire yo feel you entitled pour yo vivre. Soit ça pas fait ma descend ay vote. Et moi même que fait comme un vote, ma ka mettre fil zagoué en pat non. I want to see something happen. Bring them to court.
Okay.
No, what they did is wrong. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Okay, we have another call on the line already. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Shelton.
How are you doing?
Shelton, I'm in solution because we have a big event coming up, which is the Yamaha event at Grozili, right?
So can you identify yourself?
Right.
Can you identify yourself?
Hello?
Can you identify yourself?
Oh, them say Shadi Shalom.
All right. Your voice sounds a little different today, but anyway, you can go ahead. I don't see your name on the one.
No, but okay, but I'm talking as an individual right now already because I was listening to another show. The show that claims to be the most popular show in the world. We all know, right? Which is definitely a mouthpiece for the United Workers' Party, and we all know that. And here I am, hearing them entertaining themselves, a bunch of untruths that they believe that will carry them somewhere. We have made the point. I've heard you said it. I've heard Richard said it. I have made the point on different shows. And we know it for a fact. And we heard the Honorable Moses Jean-Baptiste in the House reminding St. Lucians, right, that the French was offering us free services to help us manage OKU, to help us transition to OKU as well. You know what I'm saying? And Alan Shaste took $22 million of taxpayers' money, paying the Cayman Group to manage the I think it was over 24 million, whatever, for 2 years at $1 million a month. And the same people who are complaining don't realize what that money could have done for the very problems that they're claiming that we have today. The government was left to pay a number of bills for medication and so forth that was left behind. But they want this government to work magic, right? The same people are talking about not enough beds, right? The United Workers' Party, when the OKU was commissioned, it was commissioned with 5 fingers. They built 4, right? Okay. And you have heard the Prime Minister made the point that they are going to build a 5th finger with CIP funds, rectifying the mistakes that the United Workers' Party made. You know what I'm saying? Moving forward, that is. You know what I'm saying? We have, the government have appointed a new CEO. You know what I'm saying? And not even given the gentleman the time of the day to do his work so he could put the hospital back on track. Or I would say it was never on track to a certain extent. Okay. Because of the challenges that we had and so on in opening it and so on. We know all the back and forth, and it wanted to be privatized, and they wanted to, we heard it. We heard the Prime Minister making promises to Cayman Group that they would have paid the nurses and they would have paid the doctors and it would have been a private operation. We heard all those kinds of things being said, and then $100 million was spent on the box, a box that had no electrical, no water, no water lines, no gas lines, no nothing.
And the fellas continue to describe that box as a state-of-the-art modern hospital,
And then we heard from him that they're going to put those water lines on the inner roof. So in a hospital, they're saying they were going to put the water line, the electrical lines, everything in a roof.
Yeah, but more they have to depally because now they're saying it's a plan for a university. It was supposed to be a split level dual hospital, one for foreigners, one for locals, and the rest of the compound was to be a university. I don't know.
And then we also have him on record saying that there's going to be an international hospital on top.
Yeah.
And the bottom is going to be a local hospital.
Yeah.
You cannot even run a local hospital, but you wanted an international hospital on top.
Yeah,
With what standards? I mean, Labenau is a state-of-the-art hospital in Martinique. The helipad is away from the hospital. In the past, Americans did that because of the high rise and so on, and the lack of space, in cities. So they put the helipad on top of the buildings because of all of that. But we have space. It is a dangerous thing to do. Have a helicopter landing, a helicopter that crash landing. You never know. No helicopter pilot is perfect. So he could be carrying an injured person and still crash because of human error. In piloting and so on. So helipads are built away from the hospital, which is close enough proximity that you could just wheel the person to the emergency and so on. You know, you don't even need another transportation, which is what is done in Martinique. Okay? So you hear all this nonsense, garbage nonsense about international, you know, hospital, when the thing is not even a standard to be a health center. You know, there was no partitioning, you know, nothing of that nature, and we saw the cladding, right, and all the water that was running through, seeping through the walls because there were no walls. You know?
I don't know.
I mean, come on, and then you have people still talking this nonsense on other stations, and they still want to claim, oh, they're neutral, they're not.
Oh yeah. That's a favorite. That's a favorite thing. Me, you see me, I'm not political, you know, but I just like, you know.
And everybody that calls the show is bashing the Labour Party. Everybody.
Yeah.
You know, imagine that health center stayed closed to all the term of the United Workers Party, you know. That same health center they went and protested in front. It was closed throughout the term of the United Workers Party. And now they're protesting it should be open. You know, you had them protesting about the what is it again, the social road. That was explained. And we
Are you sure they haven't gotten to your phone? That's about the third time I'm hearing your phone making some weird noise that just blanks out your voice, you know.
Oh, sorry. Well, I'm saying, okay, look at the issue with the social road, right? We've seen it and we've witnessed it over and over. The government pays the road, Wasco comes and dig it up. 2 months, 3 months later, you know. So the government is being prudent, spending the money to make sure that all the lines on that road are new pipes. You know what I'm saying? So that when it is paved 5-10 years down the line, maybe we might have a leak. You know, isn't that not better? Isn't that a more prudent way to spend our taxpayers' dollars?
It is foresight. It's not wasting the money. It's doing things in a manner. Yes.
But they don't want no kind of hindrance.
Yeah.
Those things must happen overnight without any kind of inconveniences. You know, we must have inconveniences to develop. We must.
You cannot have omelets without breaking eggs.
Without breaking eggs.
Yeah.
Thank you, my brother.
Yes.
But I'm just sick and tired of those sick, nonsensical arguments.
Yeah. Thank you very much. All right, we continue. (487-9849) and 4533911. We have another caller on the line. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing?
Malarman.
Lara.
I think a helicopter just left the helipad. I don't know if you're hearing the noise above.
No, really? Okay.
Yes.
Our helipad?
Yeah, man. And I'm not too far from the helipad.
All right. You're talking about the state-of-the-art hospital helipad?
Yes.
Okay.
A helicopter just doing a transfer there.
All right, okay.
From the hospital, state-of-the-art box to the airport. But Shelton, you ever see cornflakes when they just about to pack it on the shelves?
If I ever see cornflakes when they just about to pack it on the shelf?
Any other item that comes in a box.
Talk to me. You're a bit over my head now. I'm not sharp on that at all.
Shelton, when goods arrive in this country, for retail especially, it comes down in a box, or you buy it in a box, and that is a regular box.
Okay. So the box is actually a great idea.
Thus, what we have up at cantonment, right, is indeed a state-of-the-art box. You understand?
Yes.
It's a state-of-the-art box.
That's right.
Because the other boxes are made of cardboard. Yes. That one is made of
cladding.
You know what I'm talking about?
Cardboard and cladding.
You cannot deny the fellas when they say it's a state-of-the-art box.
Obama Cheney Black.
They will do. But let question. Lord Bagaira, special prosecutor. Who is supposed to speak on behalf of the special prosecutor? Is it him?
Who's what?
Who is supposed to speak on behalf of the special prosecutor.
That's what I'm wondering. To me, between the special prosecutor himself, you have the DPP, who's supposed to be the senior and the overseer of all public prosecutions and so on, under which, according to the Constitution, any special prosecutor would fall. But you also have the Prime Minister's office, which is the Minister of Justice, National Security. You have a Minister of Crime Prevention, Honorable Jeremiah Norbert, and you have the Attorney General.
I guess the special prosecutor scenario may not necessarily be something that falls under the purview of the Minister for Crime Prevention, because this is it's wide.
No, I'm just saying that the different heads and authorities that can basically say, okay, we need to say something. What do we say that does not undermine or threaten or jeopardize the work of the special prosecutor? But at the same time, we cannot have a public out there whom we told we were going to do something about, certain actions that were taken that were not supposed to have been taken, whatever, we'll look into them and just be telling them nothing whatsoever. It's just...
I agree with you, because I think we need to know what's going on post-appointment of the special prosecutor.
Yeah.
So we want to alert the Office of the Prime Minister, Office of the DPP, and whoever else is authorized to speak on matters pertaining to the special prosecutor. Give us some info. Let us know what's going on. However, Mze Maria, Mwe Suwe, Ipadeson, Vin campaign, Paske special prosecutor, Panishas, Fin Feto Availi, avant lot élection, pour faire assurer, parti ça la vie. So special prosecutor as a continuer fait travail pour faire sakin pour prendre la hole. Il y a ni pour répondre pour toute cette lycée, pas moi seulement, toute cette lycée. OK? Parce que ouais 7 millions de dollars ça là chasse ne bail bok bejen ek le fini ka di nous chance nous joindre 3 millions viwe nous laisse l'argent. Le guy qui a parlé, he's the most honest politician in this country. No besoin fait assurer Lani proof that if he could have built 10 schools for his wife, that he built 10 schools for his wife from his pocket, not at our expense. And that the children or the young people who are still paying back loans are refunded their monies because they paying twice. Okay, these things we need responses, we need answers, we need accountability for. So when they out there talking with their rush to judgment, they out there talking and they knocking health by sea, health by la, and they are the reasons for Shasni to have asked, is it the first time somebody is dying for lacking dialysis treatment? Or when they told him and they showed him the photos of the people, the videos of the people on the floor at the hospital, Victoria Hospital, and that lady who called and cried tears, okay, that the state of our health care was under Alan Shasny, and these flabbos forget that and what we endured. We need to ensure we give Mr. Pierre another term to get that special prosecutor the time frame he requires to ensure them fellas go to Bodile, or we put them on Rat Island.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Not Rat Island, it too close to Daddy.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right, thank you very much. I want to say good afternoon to my co-workers, colleagues who work in the television department who sent us a message that they're prepared to give us some overtime today, and I think that's in recognition of the late start that we had. So, we'll play it by air, but know that we have the permission to go beyond 2 o'clock if you are so minded to continue participating. This is The Real Issues. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Shelton.
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, the first thing I want to do is to thank you for your commitment to the real issues. I think that your actions manifest that you are a dedicated, a committed, and a hard-working individual who ensures that he goes beyond the call of duty. Though I cannot compensate you, but I think, you deserve, that kind of, compliment. Shelton?
Yes.
Let me tell you, I am very happy when I heard the Prime Minister came out and defend his Minister of Health. That was very nice. And that needs to be done more often, because you see, it's a team, and when one member is under attack, every other minister has to come out and stand in solidarity with the minister who is under attack. And you see, Minister Musa, the Minister of Health, Shelton, I can tell you off the bat, he's a man I have a lot of time for. You know where I give the minister his stripes, Shelton? During the COVID. I don't know if you were.
I was. I was in. For the most part, I was in Antigua at the time. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Minister Musa, that man moved and he worked, and he manifested a spirit of love and compassion and empathy. Shelton, let me tell you something. People were being displaced at the hospital. People couldn't locate their family members. And Minister Musa, he stepped in and he brought in Wi-Fi, and the place was well organized. The place was rehabilitated, well, painted, and he brought it up to standard, man. And, when Minister Musa, ensured that he worked hard, Minister Musa manifested a spirit of hard-working man. And I'm really proud. I am really proud of every minister of government so far. And I believe that every minister of government deserves another term in office. Serious. There were those who started slow. There were at least 2 ministers who started slow. But in the 6 months period, you could see they pick up and they pulling through quite nicely. And Shelton, in closing, I want to say that an admission of stealing doesn't mean that person should be acquitted, because there are lots of dishonest thieves. You follow me? In fact, there are lots of honest thieves. So they will steal, and they will just admit that they steal. And they believe because they admit that they steal, that nothing will happen to them. No. Under our criminal code, stealing is a criminal offense. And once you are caught stealing, you should be held accountable. I shall learn the last thing about the box. These guys love boxes. You remember the log box?
Yes.
The log box? When
yes.
Minister Ernest Hiller said he went in the log box, he found nothing. Have a good day.
It all looked like the box was locked.
Lock box, nothing inside that.
All right, thank you so very much. Have a good remainder of your Friday and a nice weekend. We continue taking your calls. We've been granted to go a little over time today. Thank you very much once again to my colleagues in the television department who say they're going to keep us there. So 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us on this number, and you can also reach us on 4533911. I don't know how many people would have heard that we can go over time, but like I said, I'll play it by air because maybe you've already set your stopwatches and your clocks and your alarms and your schedules. That we won't be here at beyond 2 o'clock, but we can go beyond 2 o'clock, and we're going to force it to go beyond 2 if maybe you've already set yourself for something else. Weekends can be precious, and we know Friday the action begins for so many. So 487-9849, the number to dial, and you can also reach us on 4533911. Let me I was looking at the Facebook Live a little earlier on. Erwin Alcindor, good afternoon to you. Erwin says it's about $15 to park, and they are crying for $2, and I think maybe the $15 that Erwin's talking about Him being a St. Lucian resident in the US, maybe it's $15 and he's saying people here are crying for $2, which will be $2 EC. Anthony Moses adds the $15, some places that's for the first half hour. Downtown Brooklyn, Manhattan prices for parking are ridiculous. Jude Pokes Harlow says, Canada too, bro, I pay $15 Canadian for parking a day. We have a call on the line. Good afternoon, Real Issues.
It's me again, Shelton. Let me tell you something. When you see you giving us overtime, which you basically owe us already for the week, you've been missing in action, we do have to call you for you to give us more time. We'll have to listen to you and learn from you. It's not because we are calling you that it means that we're not listening. We're listening. I'll be under the light.
Yeah, the only thing I can explain to you is that I'm highlighting the television because their schedule is set. Television programming is a little bit of a more complex creature. So the way their programming is set, from the time 2 o'clock arrives, unless they actually go and change it, Real Issues just gets cut off. It just gets cut off from the TV. So people might continue to hear us on the radio.
The fact that they have recognized that and they're willing to give us extra time, they realize that they owe us something. Before I blast them on Facebook, for this week we have been cheated. So please make up.
Who cheated you?
Right?
Who cheated?
NBC, the government, when they stole our senator from us, and NBC stole us some time too. So let us ensure the senator makes up for the time. Just because we will not be calling, we are listening.
Have a nice Levestav with DAP weekend, okay?
I try to do that.
Okay, and if you can get a ride from that helipad, whatever, go take it and tell me.
Yes, I am returning to the helipad now.
All right, Cornelia, thank you very much. Anthony Moses said, Jude Pokes Harlow for a day. That's cheap. You should see the prices in New York City. And then Jude says, wow, some places are $20. Lucille Kade, good afternoon to you, says, yes, you're talking about, but what's about they spend 7 years building a terminal to attack Israel? I don't have any particular anti-Israel thing, I'm just saying, my goodness me. This kind of brutality in the 21st century, a quarter century into the 21st century, to be killing people like that, and it's women, it's children, it's hospital patients, it's doctors, it's humanitarian workers that the sophistication that I gather that the Israeli military has, do they need to be doing this kind of carpet, bombing and strikes and so on, and people are dying? I'm not saying that Hezbollah and so on are anything easy themselves, but how are we? It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Wow. Wow. It's really, really rough, Like there's no kind of contrition, no kind of compunction, no kind of, it's like Israel is facing a challenge and they believe that the only way is to kill their way out of the challenge. When this thing is over and you've killed all those people, what Palestinian and in the wider Arab world child that is growing up will feel anything in their heart but pure hatred? Even those who are not born yet, when their parents will recount to them the things that they had to take, young children who will watch their parents, their friends, whatever, being taken away from them, before their eyes, the whole trauma will rewire their brains, as they'll say, and they grow up. And it's just hatred. They want to kill every person that they hear is an Israeli, is a Jew, is a Zionist. It's about kill. It's a place where people just believe they're going to kill our way out of whatever it is. Now, yes, you kill, but, at other times, did Israel ever believe that, Hamas, a low-tech, relatively unsophisticated militant group, terrorist group, whatever, could have charged into Israel a year ago and just, have the daring and the effrontery and the boldness and the confidence to go into Israel? I mean, those fellas had that thing so well coordinated. Even that so-called missile defense anti-aircraft dome of iron, they smothered the thing with so many drones and attacks and so on that they overwhelmed the dome of iron for a while. Iran managed to do it. What happened when other countries, Iran, you attacked them the other day, they're relatively quiet, but I don't think they're quiet because those fellas must be planning how are we going to hit back, where are we going to hit back. This is a cauldron of hatred, that place, and I'm saying the actions being taken there, that kind of hatred, I can't see it subsiding for a long, long, long time. I don't know. Anyway, Good afternoon to you, Martin Francis Monrose. And you know, before you say anything about Israel, there are people who jump up to defend and, you know, like they're ready to fight with you. And a lot of it has to do with a very unsound misunderstanding, misconception about Israel and the Bible, and we still believe that this is the biblical Israel and these are the people of God, and anything they do is something we should not criticize, and we are supposed to just, you know, nod in agreement with it because they are people of God. Folks, this is not the Israel of the Bible. It cannot be. The Israel of the Bible would not be what this country is, a modern democratic republic. Israel is a country where same-sex marriage is legal. Can you imagine the Israel of the Bible, the Israel of King David, King Solomon, King Saul, you know, fellas marrying men and so on? Can you imagine this Israel, which is a place where abortion is legal? It's even more legal. You know, they are liberal democracy. You know, can you imagine then about the right to go and terminate pregnancies and this kind of thing that you find Israel just like about anywhere else and so on, you know, so many other things. There is no temple, there is no priesthood, there is no monarchy that you can equate with being what it was in the Bible and so on. In the Bible, lineage was through the father. It was Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat. Right now, the way you prove you are a Jew is by the lineage of your mother, because they do not have the temple of the biblical times, because the temple was more than a place of sacrifice and rituals. The temple served as a giant registry, not just for the nation of Israel, but for the diaspora of Israel. That's why every year people came from all over the world around Pentecost to come. It was big to get the details of their registration and their ancestry and so on verified and certified, so that they could be people who, you know, registered as Jews. That's why Jesus Christ and, you know, Mary and Joseph made, well, Jesus Christ wasn't born yet, but that's why Mary and Joseph made that journey from Nazareth to go to Bethlehem, because they were descendants of David, and so they had to go and register in the ancestral town and so on, which was Bethlehem, the place where David was born. So that is where their registration was. That's why they ended up in Bethlehem, even though they were residents of Galilee, far up north, which, by the way, the complete name of it is Galilee of the Gentiles. You know, it was a place that had become such a melting pot, a diaspora of non-Jewish people who were there among the Jews and so on. It was called Galilee of the Gentiles. They came there. You don't have the temple with all the genealogical records, so people cannot prove by paternal lineage that they're Jews. So you can't hide that, the fact that a woman was pregnant and she gave birth. So since then, the temple was destroyed in 70 AD, razed to the ground. All its records were obliterated. Since that time, you don't have the Levitical Mosaic Judaism. What you have is the rabbinical, you know, Judaism, where people lineage is by the mother. This is not the Israel of the Bible. People who are of Christian persuasion, stop nodding in agreement to those fakes and frauds on TBN and elsewhere want to make you believe that these are the people of God, and so whatever they do, you know. And the other thing that those Christians don't realize, you are harming the Christian testimony so much that you are hindering the gospel. How are you going to go and preach Christianity if you're supporting Israel unconditionally, what it's doing there? How are you going to preach to those Palestinians? How are you going to convert them? How are you going to tell them about the message of the gospel of Christ, peace on earth, goodwill to men, which we are approaching the season of that of Christmas? Those people don't want to hear that. You, the people, you, those people who are supporting those Israelis and believe they're the people of God and we are the devil's children so they can do anything to us, they don't want to hear nothing. And you're probably going to find they'll be attacking Christian people, even if they're non-Israeli and non-Jewish and this kind of thing. You know, I mean, this whole mess up thing about people of God thing, we have to get out of that. We have to get out of that. Anyway, folks, let me just read a few more. Mahoney Oje, good afternoon to you. He says, if it has not already, the Millennium Highway will soon overtake the Lagan Road in terms of its time span. And Jude Pokes Harlow says, and the Millennium Highway is a shorter road than the Southeast Coast. Alright. Eusebia Jean-Baptiste, good afternoon to you, says, I agree with you totally, Shelton. I believe that the silence must be broken. It's high time. A lot of supporters are of the same opinion. And I believe she's talking about this whole special prosecutor. There's just too much. It seems aloof. It seems like, you know, ça fait des autres comme ça, ça pas gel, ça fait, ça tout fait, et nous pas rien pour dire, pas ça forcer nous dire rien, we'll say nothing and nobody can force us. That's not what it's about. It's not about caving into public pressure. It's about showing some public sensitivity, even some political sensitivity, that the expectations of people were built up on that something would be done to ensure that people were held to account and brought to book for certain things that they did or allegedly did during the past tenure of government and so on. Anyway, I'm getting a call coming on my own phone. Let me see if it's somebody who knows me and is trying to reach. But the person voice, sometimes when you hit that answer button and it's just not responding, I don't know what happens sometimes with the phone. Let me see if I can get that. I suspect the person would have. I don't know, sometimes you see a call coming in, you hit that answer button so much and it's just not responding. It's just not animating. So whoever it was, I'm sorry about that. Okay, yeah, the call is ended. Sometimes you do your best, and let me see if I can get it. Sometimes the phone just dies. You just cannot get the animation. Jaquan, I think we're going to wrap it up right now. People probably have their minds were set about the time when the program will end. And once again, we apologize for the late start. Go through the weekend safely, people. Take care of yourself. And let's do it again starting Monday from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on Real FM Radio, MBC Television, and Facebook Live, as well as streaming live on YouTube. Until then, on behalf of Jaquan and all of us here at MBC, Shelton Daniel, signing out.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches,